3, 2, 1. Like the heat. I am complete. I see the doorway. Thousand churches. The resolution. We're not being able to sleep. All right, cool. We're live, guys. Had a little issue there. Couldn't get the cameras up, but we're good now. So what's up, everybody watching right now? A lot of people in the chat. Hey, make sure you guys share this video, like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Put it in your feeds. We're going to talk about some good stuff tonight. You're watching Young Lion TV. Young Lion, Young Lion. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young Lion, Young Lion. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young Lion, Young Lion. Won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. That's right. We're here. It's Tuesday night, and we do what we do every Tuesday at True Sound Studios here in Camden, New Jersey, a.k.a. the Lion's Den. Thank you guys for checking in with us. I want to say what's up to Ari, who's watching right now. She made a comment about how she remembers us from selling her CD in the Deptford Mall. Sheesh. And she said that Let Me In was always her jam. And I was... she said, yeah.
That's still on my playlist.
Right? I still play that one. We still do that. We still do a little piece of that one before it goes slow.
Yeah,
we do that. If you come to a show, you can hear it. And what's up, Gina? What's up to Amy? What's up to Crystal? What's up to Jahia? Beverly, all you guys in the chat. Make sure you guys share this video and also like it and all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also like the video, give it a thumbs up. We're trying to, get the algorithms going. We appreciate you guys. And we're going to talk about some good things. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure everybody goes to the patreon.com/Young Lion TV and subscribe to be a partner, be a Young Lion, and you can donate to the cause, or you can just, sign up to be a member and get some special perks and privileges and access to some cool stuff. So before we get into all the discussion, I got to say what's up to my brother right here with the Black Panther t-shirt on. That's the old school Black Panther. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Wakanda forever.
I don't know about that, but
Jake Evans, and sitting next to him rocking the Back to Life shirt with little Jakey on it. Yeah, Mr. Samun Chang.
Jang Samun, get it right.
No, I say it the American messed up way. What's up, Ariana? Ari said she'll definitely be at the next show. And then last but not least, holding it down on the ones and twos is, as always, Miss Rachel Rota.
It's a long R.
What's up? Yeah, it was a long one.
That was a long. I had to give her a long one because, that long wait we had before the cameras came up.
My stress levels elevating palpably.
Yes. I saw you just kind of like...
She was so mad.
She was like, what is happening? So what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Haven't seen you guys since... Well, I saw you at soccer.
Sunday.
I didn't
Saturday. I saw you Sunday at Mom's house.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard you guys had all the kids with her.
Yeah, they all spent the night with her. They had a big family sleepover.
Yeah, I must have just missed y'all.
Yeah, you came. What time did you get there?
Like around 4:45, 5ish.
Oh no, I was there.
I left at 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was there. I got there around like 1.
I told her. I was like, her house don't look like she had 5 kids running around.
You know how my mom is. My mom is not play with the mess. She cleans it up.
I made him clean up though before.
Oh, you did?
Left.
Yeah.
As you should. That's how kids are supposed to be.
I saw the Joker this weekend. Y'all see the Joker?
I did not.
Nope.
I'm going to see it this weekend though.
You don't know if you want to see it? it was very dark.
Yeah,
It was
that's
very dark.
why.
It was very dark. It was kind of like, I mean, it was a very well done movie. I thought like Joaquin Phoenix acting was amazing. You know what I mean? But it was like amazing to the level of like, this is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like it was a little.
He went to a dark place.
Not only that, the whole movie just like stays in like this dark place, and it just keeps getting.
It's like an atmosphere of thick darkness.
Yeah. But it's a good movie. You know, people. Rachel is cracking up.
I'm gonna go see it.
Thick darkness.
Nita's been wanting to see it. And
Yeah,
I think we're going to see it this weekend.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I would recommend watching it, but it is like dark.
Not
You know
with,
what I mean?
Not with kids.
Definitely not. Yo, that was we coming out of the movie. Some lady got like a 3-year-old with her.
What?
Yeah. And I mean, there's some like gruesome stuff in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rated R, right?
I don't even know. Probably. I think there was a lot of cursing and stuff. A lot of like violence. Yeah. But it's not like an action movie. You never, it takes place in the 70s, so it's like, right around. It's supposed to be like the Joker's kind of origin story, but also where him and Batman first, when Batman's a kid, when they first like cross paths. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So
they never cross paths, but how their stories cross paths.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched I kind of know it from the dude Black Pill.
Oh yeah.
So-
Yeah, he did a breakdown of it
Yeah.
that just like showed the subversion
Right.
behind the
Yeah.
storyline, which it was cool, but I still watched it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah. So also trade deadline, and what did we do?
We did nothing.
We did nothing, man. The trade deadline was today at 4:00 for the Eagles, and they did absolutely nothing.
We need wide receivers. We need cornerback. They did
Linebacker.
They got the DN from the Browns.
Yeah.
Avery.
Yeah.
He
And
seems like he's pretty solid.
John was saying that he's got linebacker skills as well.
Yeah.
So that maybe that's why
he can cover.
Okay.
He covers really well and he's quick.
So maybe that's why they can use him in that capacity.
I don't know.
Because isn't Jernigan about to come back too?
Jernigan is about to come back in a couple weeks, I think.
Right.
And they said Deshaun Jackson is going to be practicing this week.
Okay.
But he's going to have that nagging pain
Yeah.
for the rest of the season. So
how effective will he be?
Right.
But hey, that was a good win.
It was the same type of their game plan was the same type of game plan that won against Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They
They played the Bills.
The 5-1,
Stan's
now
team.
5-2.
Yeah, they were 5-1.
Buffalo Bills.
Sorry, Stan.
Yeah.
But
Did you talk to Stan after the loss at all?
I talked a little shit, but
Okay.
not too much.
What did he say?
Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was impressed with I was like, for the first time this season, I was impressed with the play calling.
Right, dude. The Miles Sanders run.
That run.
Two backs. Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
Was
They were
acting
in
like a fullback.
They were in like a split back type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen them do a play like that.
Yeah, that was the first time. They've never done anything
And then they
like
had
that.
multiple screen passes.
Screens
We've been calling for that all year.
all year, dude. All year. And they did two back to back with Goddard.
You know what's funny? I was thinking like, how do the Eagles find two running backs that are 5'6"? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, cause
You talk about Boston
Sproles got hurt, and they got this young dude, Boston Scott. He's 5'6" also, so he's another little guy. That
He's not bad though.
no, he's not. Except for that fumble.
Yeah, he tried to give them the game. He
Yeah.
tried to get them back in the game though with that muff punt.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. That had me a little nervous.
It was a solid game though, man. It's a good defense.
Let's see what did Ari say. Who hit the high note in the song "Let Me In"? Oh, that was Jake.
Definitely wasn't me.
Definitely Jamie.
Yeah, no, that was
Can't
me.
hit them high notes.
Yeah, you can.
Not as high as you.
That was me. Have you ever heard Go Slow also? You should check that one out. It's on our YouTube right now. That's kind of got the same type of vibe. So check out Go Slow. And then we got another one coming out called Higher Love.
Higher Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you singing falsetto on that.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
She said, I need to hear. Go check it out right now. And maybe we'll send you a copy of Let Me In if you're nice. If you share this video, we'll send you a copy of Let Me In. How about that?
Uh-huh.
So last week, the highly anticipated album from Kanye West, Jesus is King, was released. And we had a lot of discussion here about the Sunday service and all that stuff that was going on, and like our opinions on Kanye West doing gospel music and whatnot. So leading up to the album release, he did a lot of press. There was a lot of interviews. One being the Apple Music one, which happened before the Big Boy one. And in that one, he revealed a lot of like intimate stuff that kind of showed a little bit more the backstory of this journey that he's been on. You know what I mean? Because we talked about it before, like Kanye West has always kind of struggled with the idea of Christianity and what he was doing in music. I feel like when he first got into it, before like being exposed to the depths of the music industry, and we've been in it so long, we've seen a lot of that stuff and how it's easy to get pulled into that world and kind of abandon, you know, your values and your closeness with God. Thankfully, we kind of like were kept, I guess, having each other as a strong unit to keep each other like in line. We never like fully abandoned that, and then God was able to bring us back, you know, to kind of where Kanye's at now. But one of the things that he mentioned that I thought was very interesting was he was talking about how that initial memory he has that led to his like porn addiction and all of his behavior of like the stuff he did at the awards, the stuff he would wear, was all like linked back to that first situation. You remember him? Did you see that?
In the Big Boy interview?
No, in the Apple Music video.
I didn't see the whole thing, so I don't think I saw it.
He was talking about how like that all that stems back to that first time he saw a Playboy on his dad's, like in his dad's room or on the coffee table or something.
Okay.
And that like totally, and we've talked about this on here many times, like that totally rewired his brain to like be obsessed with women and like attaining women. You know what I mean? Even to the point where he married pretty much a porn star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way.
In a way, like not only in a way, he's actually come out and admitted before. I remember seeing him talk about that like one of the first times he became infatuated with her was seeing her porn tape. You know what I mean? So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I remember him saying that before. I don't know. Maybe you can find where he said that. But
no, he did say that.
You've heard that before too,
him say
right?
that.
I remember hearing this years ago when they first got together. Like, remember when they were like doing the music videos together, and when like it was a new relationship. I remember like that being like the news story of the time, like that he was obsessed with her over that. But just seeing him like open up about that stuff and talk about where he's at now, and realizing how all of those things, the brainwashing, you know, has brought him back full circle now.
Yeah, I definitely think that Jesus Walks kind of like, it's funny because that was like his first album.
Yeah.
And he kind of prophesied over his life. You know what I mean?
That was his first big hit. Like the first single didn't do as well as Jesus Walks.
Right.
You know? And even like on that same album, he did the song When It All Falls Down that originally was like a Lauryn Hill sample, and then he had the girl come in and re-sing it. But he even talked about some real stuff on that song. I remember talking about like a girl in college making the wrong decisions because like being self-conscious, you know what I mean? So you saw that there. You saw glimpses of that. But through the years, then you get caught up in ego and being an artist and like, being what the industry wants you to be.
Because what's inside of you just heightens.
Right.
If you don't really have Jesus, like there's no way to what's in you is just going to become magnified.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Have y'all listened to the album at all?
Yeah, I have.
I haven't yet.
You haven't listened to it yet? I heard little clips, but I
heard it's doing well though.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
mean,
I've seen a lot of backlash from like, mainstream media. Like if you Google Kanye West, Jesus is King, and you just like go through the headlines, it's always like Donald Trump Jr. says it's a great album, or like it's like all the wrong people love Kanye West's new music, It's like all these weird headlines just making you want to not like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny how they just want to frame it in a way where it makes sense to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like, why does it have to do anything with Donald Trump?
It has nothing to do with, well, it
because
does
he
in a
supports
sense
him.
Because he, wore the MAGA hat and,
No,
So
my
they'll
thing is,
forever
like,
link it back to that. Like every interview he does, well, the Big Boy interview was hilarious because he was deliberately trying to avoid like serious. He wanted it to only be about the album and like Sunday service and like what brought him to that, but it ended up being Kanye just ranting about like real shit for a whole hour. You know what I mean? Which I have some clips of that I want to play and then we can react to. Have you guys seen the full interview?
I haven't watched the full interview, but I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Okay. Well, we'll play some clips and then we'll react to it because I thought like what he was saying was stuff that we talk about all the time, and it was interesting to me to see like him being on this journey now of like realizing some of this stuff. So if we could play some of that, Rach, if you could find some of those clips. Yeah.
Don't rub me the right way. This definitely ain't gonna get Johnny Gill up in this.
What do you say to people that say you turned your back on the culture or
Exactly,
black people?
100%. I have turned my back on the idea of victimization mentality. We are locked up. We went from 1 and 4. We went from 1 and 4 to 1 and 3, but we always pointing at the white people, but yet we want to spend all of our money on foreigns. We want to spend all our money on luxury as opposed to going and buying some land. America is for sale, and there's a lot of barren land. Disney bought a lot of it in Florida. But the culture has you focused so much on fucking somebody bitch and pulling up in a foreign and rapping about things that could get you locked up and then saying you about prison reform. Like, it's, bro, we brainwashed out here, bro. Come on, man. This is a free man talking. Democrats had us voting Democrats for food stamps for years, bro. What is you talking about? Guns in the 80s, taking the fathers out the home, Plan B, lowering our votes, making us abort our children. God should not kill. I can't tell y'all how to feel, but what I can tell you honestly is how I feel. And when I sat there 7 years in, 6 years in to the Obama administration, when I was sitting at the Met balls, when I was sitting in front of white people and they thought, I wouldn't thought you would like Trump because of the racism. So you mean to tell me I make every decision based off my color? The most racist thing a person could tell me is that I'm supposed to choose something based on my race. If that was the case, I wouldn't have never wore a pink polo. I wouldn't have never wear skinny jeans. Everywhere I go, people pants smaller than mine. And I'm the one who, you eat fish sticks because I have skinny jeans on.
What?
What?
He's talking about like, remember what his style back when he first came out and how people used to clown him.
Yeah.
They used to call him gay. They used to like say, I guess you eat fish sticks is like some slang for something. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But he's just saying like, I mean, I guess he's saying like people are constantly trying to put you in a box based off of your race or who you are or who you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? But what he was saying at the beginning of that clip is like
Sound
spot
like
on. You know what I mean? Like,
sound like the stuff we talk about
exactly.
all the time.
We always, how many times did we talk about the culture? And what is the culture doing? What is the culture breeding? What is it doing, especially for Black America? You know what I mean?
Even like to say that, like when you say that, it comes out of your mouth, you're already a slave to it.
Right.
You know, you're already bound to it because you have to prove yourself to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the moment you're trying to address that as something that's important and importance in your life, you're bound to it.
Right. And I think that's what he's saying. Like, the moment you say, I got to do this for the culture, you're already a slave. That's what he's saying. We brainwashed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then he goes on to, I think the next clip is him talking about like cancel culture. No? What's the next clip?
You have the comment for the cancel culture, but there's no video. The next video is social media.
No, it should be video there. Pretty sure, Rach. Pretty sure.
You did just make comments because I remember seeing that. Like, why is there no video, Jamie?
Okay, you gotta. Definitely was a video. You know what? Facebook might have removed it.
Oh no.
Facebook might have removed it. You know how they do. It's all right. I'll just post it right now. Should be this one right here.
So fish sticks, huh? A term referring to a male fish's penis.
Yeah,
It's
you
used
never
to
heard
make-
that? That was a South Park episode.
Yeah, it's
right?
used to make people
Do you eat fish sticks?
look like a gay fish.
Are
Made
you a
made
gay-
famous by South Park.
Oh, that's right. Because they did a whole episode on Kanye.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
And then the whole episode was
The
about him.
chalkboard.
Yeah, eating
Kanye,
fish sticks. Yeah,
genius.
Kanye genius. Yo, that's funny. All right, that last video should be up right now. See if it'll let you play before they delete it. Facebook don't want these bars out there, yo. You know what I'm saying? They don't want these bars. Damn, that's crazy. We should bring that. We should find that clip of Kanye on South Park. I forgot about that episode, man. Hey, Ari, send us your write your email address in the chat, or you can private message us if you don't want people seeing it, and then we'll send you a copy of Let Me In. Promise. Okay.
Stop gay bashing, right? I took that L. Consequence took that L. He had to go to Queens the next day. He took, you know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop was dropping F-bombs, and I said, stop. You can play the footage. I said, stop it. As soon as I said, close on Sunday, just like Chick-fil-A, there was LGBTQ articles saying they need to boycott my company. I said George Bush don't care about black people. As soon as I wore a red hat, I'm a coon. You can't do enough for nobody out here. So how about it? I stop.
That's
You
the
get what I'm
point.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
People
Supposed to
forget
stop,
so
yeah.
quick. Think about that. I'm the
that's
one. I
supposed to
thought
do
my
stuff for
career. You
people.
know, the funny thing is, people are like, man, this is gonna be harmful for your career. This gonna be. I said,
Did you worry about that?
man,
He jumps right on
I
that.
fear and love God. When you remove the fear and love of God, you
This is
create the
facts right
fear
here.
and love of everything else. You talking to somebody right now that only fears God, and Jesus has won the victory, bro. This is my opinion. I'm not thinking about what I'm saying based on how other people are going to feel. I'm just saying how I feel. And who you know do that. I ain't calculating nothing. And God is using us to show off. I'm talking about when I was calculating things, I was ending up in debt. Next thing you know, I'm not even on Instagram, and Yeezy is the #1 Google search brand on the planet, above Louis Vuitton, above Nike, above Adidas. Yeezy, and I'm not even a part of the culture. I'm canceled. I don't have no gram. I'm not on the gram. And it's the #1 brand. This joint, last valuation I got was $3 billion, and these are people trying to buy it, so it must be worth $6 billion.
I'm canceled.
I'm canceled. I'm not on the gram. But but what he's saying is true. You know what I mean? Like when you, like you were saying, the point is you're not supposed to be trying to cater to everybody, because once you do that, you can never, they'll never be satisfied. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Flip side of that, you can't, like, even, you know, if you think like you're safe in Christianity world,
right?
It's the same thing,
right?
You know, like Christian culture,
it's
the same thing. You know, there's no Christian culture. There's a kingdom culture, but that's a different thing. But in turn, people get caught up like, oh, I don't want to look like this. I don't want to look like that. No, just be honest,
right?
You know,
don't lie.
And
I think you still see him like struggling with some of that too, because there's in all these interviews, every time he curses, he's like, "Oh, my Christian scorecard went down a couple points."
Right.
You know, he keeps saying that, you know. But it's like, yo, you can't even think in that way. But you see him dealing with that because a lot of the churches, a lot of the people in Christianity are like speaking out against what he's trying to do and trying to pick it apart and you know, telling him why he's doing this or that wrong. So, you know, it's the same thing, you know.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's
right.
a shame. Like, you know, people saying, "Well, I just want to make sure that it's real." It's like, but how does that? So I'm gonna wait and see if it's real. But
right.
What? Just look at what he's saying. Look at what he's speaking out of his mouth. You know, He's speaking from his heart. He's not contriving anything. He's just flowing. So he's coming from his heart. That's what you, like, if you say you're a Christian and you're trying to pick apart everything he's saying, like, you're not, you want to.
Right.
You want to pick it apart.
Right.
But if you say you believe in Jesus, then you're supposed to love and cover him and pray for him.
Right.
Because, dude, you know how attacked you think people go through depression and issues, like, and I'm talking about people who say they're Christian. Like, you think they go through stuff and they don't know that many people.
Right.
But imagine all the stuff he's going through because everybody's coming at him.
Right.
You know?
And the stuff that he's seen and been exposed to, the people he's been around, the stuff he's been pulled into, been exposed himself to, opened himself up to. You know what I mean? Like, people don't realize what type of warfare you deal with when you open yourself up to a lot of those things. You know what I mean?
And on the other end of that, as a Christian, you don't realize the type of warfare you open yourself up to when you go around judging everybody and trying to pick everybody apart like you think you know. You don't know everything about them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's an issue too. Like, and then you wonder why you're going through stuff. You wonder why you're so depressed because you're not supposed. That's not what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So I wanted to. I didn't put this up in there, but I wanted you to look this up because this was hilarious. When we were, I was watching that clip in the studio, and then me and Rachel were talking about it, and she was saying how like she was really young during the whole like George Bush doesn't care about black people thing, and so I told her you have to go watch it because it's so hilarious, like the whole situation. So I want to bring it up so we can watch it. So just for those that are like watching this that don't really know what he's talking about when he says, you know, I said George Bush don't care about black people, and he was a hero when he did that. Remember? Because the way he did it on.
It's so weird.
So, but the thing that's hilarious to me is like the same people that love that Kanye, when he throws on the Trump hat, he's doing the same thing. He's bucking the system and saying you can't control me. You know what I mean? But they don't like it when it doesn't go in their favor. You know what I mean? You
doesn't
can't
fit the narrative.
You don't get to control someone like that. You know?
Yeah.
But I just want to show this because how funny it is.
The landscape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the...
It's just funny how like he just totally goes off script. Like, we'll see what happened, but yeah, hopefully it works. Was it froze on the iPad or was it just frozen in Wirecast?
Wirecast.
Okay. So Wirecast is bugging with the iPad right now.
Media, if you see a black...
Yeah.
Great. Well, it's cool. We could play it, and you could just hear the audio. Okay. You don't have to see his.
I mean, that's
the facial expressions are part of it, but it's still funny. Like just how Michael Myers' face is the most funny part.
He was like, "What did he just say?"
Well, through the whole, but you remember the whole first rant when he goes on about how like people are being killed and they don't have water.
Yeah.
Orleans, the landscape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible.
This whole time, Mike
Red
Myers
Cross
is
is
like,
doing
what the
everything
hell
they can.
is he
we
doing
already
right now?
realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
He just ran. Giving them permission to go down and shoot us.
In many ways more profoundly devastating is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Okay.
I wish we could have seen it.
I know. Because Mike Myers, when he says it, Mike Myers looks at him like, he's like,
why would you do that?
Yeah. But yeah, so that turned Kanye into like, the hero for the Black Swift thing and defending Beyonce. And of course, he's a hero for that too.
Yep.
So what he's saying is like, I do all of that and then I throw on a red hat and now all of a sudden I'm a coon.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing turns me into a coon. It's like,
yeah, but that just shows you like why, because people, they're only thinking about themselves and their own feelings.
Yeah, right.
They're self-centered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Back
they
to narcissist.
They only love you when they only love your passion when it benefits their cause.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And their cause is to fulfill their own desires.
Right.
Really. Which is understandable when you're going through oppression and going through things. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it.
When you're hurt.
When you're hurt.
When you have trauma. You know what I mean?
It's not. Yeah, it's not like he kind of said it. He said like, I'm not going to tell you how to feel.
Right.
You're not denying the way people feel or their feelings. They're there for a reason. But the problem is, do you want to stay that way?
Right.
Yeah,
there was a funny distinction that he would make in the interview because Big Boy kept asking him like, do you care? Like, and he said, I care about everything. Like, I care what people say. I care about all that. But then when he said, like, are you afraid of this? Yo, the only thing I fear is God. Like, so there's a difference. You know what I mean? Like, part of you is going to care what people say.
Yeah. I mean, that's the battle.
Right.
Like, you're human. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's learning how.
But you can't move in that.
Yeah, it's learning how to not get caught up in those emotions.
Right.
Because that's where your fear is. That's where the lies are.
That's where the slavery is. That's where the control is. If you can be controlled to care, and what is the tactics that they use now? The cancel culture, the woke culture. It's like, if you don't care about these things the way we do, then we'll shun you. You know what I mean? So everyone doesn't want to be shunned. Everyone doesn't want to be made to seem like a bad person. So they have to like agree. And he talks about, did he talk about being woke in that clip? No, I think that's in the later clip that I have there.
But he does talk about that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next clip where he goes into social media addiction. And from what iPad's not up, just try unplugging it, plug it back in.
That's what I did. We'll try it again.
Okay. But so he talked about social media, and I know that he has part from the clip that I heard of. He talks about that a lot, about like teaching the young girls not to be on Instagram, you know, which is important. You know what I mean? Because we talk about that all the time too. This obsession with being on Instagram, with getting likes and getting approval from people.
Black Mirror.
Yeah. So he talked about that in this interview as well, where Big Boy they were talking about something, and he was talking about how like rappers always talk about like, I got your bitch, and he's like, nah, Instagram got your bitch. You know what I mean? Because she'll put some pictures up there before she send them to you. You know what I mean? And he was just saying that like something about Angry Birds, how they found out that like that a lot of girls liked Angry Birds because of the way you played it, like the swiping, the dopamine or something like that, and you know, what comes after that, Tinder, Instagram, all that stuff.
The swiping gave him dopamine.
Yeah, just like the something about interacting with the apps would give them like a dopamine hit. Like just being able to swipe through stuff. I've noticed that sometimes. Like I'll pull up Instagram and just be doing this and not even looking at the phone and just scrolling through my feed. Like, what am I doing? And I'll just close it. Like,
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, we lost the iPad.
Lost the iPad, and the program is glitchy in other ways too. Like the shots aren't always working.
Okay. But, where's the CPU at?
71.
Okay, so it's not crazy. I don't know. We'll see if we can get it back up. Yeah, I think in all, it's a good thing when people speak truth. You know what I mean? That's what we try to make this podcast about. Like, because people need to hear someone being honest. Even if like it's not about being right all the time, it's about being honest, you know? Yeah. Because as long as you're not lying, you know, you're being genuine, people need to hear what you have to say because it can lead people back to truth, you know what I mean? Or lead people to at least seek out truth and find truth for themselves, and not that fake version of your truth, my truth. Like, but the truth, yeah,
because there's only one truth,
right? Yeah. So I mean, I want to listen to the album and see, you know, what the contents are.
Did we talk about last time? Did we talk about the whole church, the Atlanta church thing?
We didn't talk about that. And I did want to bring that up.
Wasn't that Eddie E. Long's church?
Was it?
It used to be, yeah.
So that's the people that took over for Eddie Long. Okay, because I remember when I was watching T.I. and Ebro talk about it, they did say something about like what happened there, but they didn't go into it. So I figured Eddie it was one of those. But all those mega churches got drama, you know what I mean? But yeah, so Kanye did one of his Sunday services at that church in Atlanta, and apparently like they let him do the service there, and it all went off good, and all these rappers came and showed up to like check it out. All the Atlanta rappers were there, and a lot of other celebrities. But then whatever donation he tried to give the church didn't want to accept it because he supported Trump. You know, which makes absolutely no sense to me, and I think it's very hypocritical. Yeah. You know, we were talking about this earlier, how like, so you can take donations from all the rappers that constantly rap about stuff that you're should be totally against. I mean, it's totally just poisoning.
One that I know gave 2 Chainz.
Yeah, 2 Chainz.
Now, let's say this is not against him. He could, you know, things could change. But in terms of what he's saying in his raps,
and in terms of what the standard that this church is trying to lay up as a rule, like, well, we can't accept money because you support someone that we don't think is moral. It's like, wait a minute, but you're taking money from gangsters and drug dealers and rappers that put out poisonous ideology to the youth. Like, you'll take their money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How does that make sense?
It makes no sense.
Not only that, T.I. was complaining about the fact that someone was up there trying to get $1,000 from 20 people, remember?
Yeah.
Because he knew that there was a bunch of rappers there. So it's like, that money's cool. We'll take your money.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care. We don't even care. Like, we might not even know what your content is, but we'll take your money, you know?
Yeah.
But someone who's actually...
like, you got to pay into these blessings. It was like something weird and crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't they send out a statement? What was their exact phrasing?
I literally think it was something about like we couldn't take his money because he supported Trump. So then they ended up donating it to like a college or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does not make any sense.
But again, it goes into exactly what he's talking about in these interviews. Like, these are the things that people are being controlled by.
Mm-hmm. This is a major church with like thousands. Like what, like 20,000?
Yeah, probably more than that.
Something extravagant,
right?
And they're
trying to save their own ass, just in case they're
trying not to lose membership.
Yeah,
they're trying to appease their congregation.
Right. That's what I mean.
Right.
You know.
So it's
Which is the total opposite.
But then you have someone here who's putting his entire career on the line, gonna lose a bunch of fans.
Yeah.
Not afraid of losing money because he wants to do what God is showing him to do, which is in direct contradiction with their approach. They're supposed to be the church that he's going to. So he's creating a new movement of Christianity, of people that believe in Jesus, that want to follow God and show their love for God, like this whole Sunday service thing. This is what he's doing. He's taking it around everywhere, trying to create a new concept of church. But then you have the church,
and
which
it's
he
free,
goes
right?
to. I don't know.
I heard that.
I think you can buy merch and stuff, or you can donate, but yeah, it's free. Like to come in and, you know, they've been doing it at churches, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they started doing them like outside. Like,
they did, yeah. Yeah, they were doing them at other venues. I think it's something that he's just like trying to figure out what it's going to be. You know what I mean? It's not like, I don't think it's like this big organized thing. It's like it started out as something and it just keeps growing and going into something else. I remember him talking about they were wearing all white at first, and then he changed that, you know, because it looked like a cult.
It did.
Yeah. But I just think it's hilarious when you think about like the church and its history with money and the prosperity movement, especially in Atlanta. And then
but it's funny you said cult, because the meaning of a cult is literally to like come away from the true meaning.
Right.
Or the core of what the church is about. And that's, you're literally doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in all these ways, you know. I mean, and it's not just like prosper. It's a bunch of churches. Like I know, just reading and watching different things. Like a lot of churches are denominations, so they're controlled by boards,
right,
or a hierarchy, right. So then they place people at different churches, right. So they'll get them removed. Like if the congregation complains, like
you can lose your spot.
Yeah, it's the congregation that has the power.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if this pastor is actually preaching and they're like, I don't like what he's saying, they have the power to get him out of there, you know.
That's crazy.
Times.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It makes
so
no
like the
sense.
Elders. Yeah. So a lot of times it's the opposite. Like, you have people who are younger that don't really have understanding. How can you grow if you... It's kind of like, how can if a child feels like, I got some leverage here. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there are...
Well, it's just like the cancel culture idea, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I can go on Twitter and get a product banned from Walmart or wherever. So I'm going to do that, you know?
Right.
I'm gonna use my power because it makes me feel powerful to do that, to say that I did that, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I feel empowered. You know what I mean? Like, but that's where like a lot of these.
What's up, Rach?
So I don't have the iPad or camera 2 now. I have camera 2, but I can't get to it.
Can't get to it.
The only shot is you.
Glitchy. Yeah, I've
That's
been noticing
that's
it.
the only shot that's needed right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep the camera on me at all times. Like that. Let me see if I can help out.
Okay.
Take my spot, Jake.
Yeah, slide over, Jake,
Take
if
your
you can, for a sec.
So I'll talk to you, Moon.
Talk to me.
So yeah, it's funny. So it becomes like this. You turn everything on its head. Where what do parents do? Parents give you what they have. They give you the knowledge, the wisdom, everything that they've acquired. If you don't respect your parents, if you don't honor your parents, you're not going to receive any of it, right? And then you're trying to manipulate to stay in ignorance. You know, going back to the thing I said a couple of weeks ago about like ignorance doesn't want to know anything,
Right.
and if you want to stay in ignorance, that's what happens. Like if you're prideful in being ignorant, we don't have this camera either. So if you're prideful in being ignorant and not knowing, and you want to stay ignorant like a child who doesn't respect their parents or doesn't want to honor their parents, well, then there's nothing you can do. And then when you have situations where you're taking that power away from the people who are supposed to be in those places of power, or they're taking away from themselves, however you want to look at it, because sometimes you can have leaders who are afraid. But the bottom line is it's about fear. Because I'm afraid to say something, because if I do, it might affect me in a negative way.
Right.
You know, so now what's ruling you? Fear. So now you're and this is, I'm talking about God. Like, and God is love. Love casts out all fear. So now you're not trusting in God. You're trusting in your own ideas of how you can survive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Trusting in money. You know,
You're
they're comfortable. They're comfortable. I'm talking about the church. They're comfortable with all their might be gone. Members are gone.
Right.
And that's what they're acting on.
Yeah.
Straight up fear, man.
Straight up fear. And it's like that's the opposite of what the church is supposed to be.
It's been the opposite for a while.
It's literally stand on its head. Like,
Yeah.
you're acting out of fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of times in every way. How many churches are afraid? But you put yourself in these positions. Like a lot of these churches, they put themselves in these positions because you have to have a building. You know, you have to have something that you got to pay for. You know, your overhead is crazy. You got to pay these bills. Like, how many times you hear even pastors say that? Like, you don't understand. I have all these bills to pay.
Yeah.
But who says that that's even the way church is supposed to be?
Right.
There's nothing about that in the Bible.
No,
You know what I mean?
there isn't.
What are we talking about?
Where Jesus preach.
Outside.
Yeah. He ain't need no building.
He went to where the people were.
Yeah.
Where are the people? The people are on social media, right? People are online. So
Right.
you can talk about God.
People
if
buy
you're
music.
called to. Yeah.
Yeah. Not to say that, Kanye is a coming of Jesus or anything, but he's definitely searching, man.
Yeah, and that's what you gotta look for. I think so many people are caught up in how can I figure it out? You know what I mean? How can I figure it out so I don't get hurt, so I don't get made a fool of, so I don't get manipulated. You understand? Like, but all those things are survival tactics, and that's all rooted in fear. So when if you're thinking about all these things, God is the one who covers you. God is the one that keeps you in security.
Right.
You know, that's his love. When you recognize that, it changes your position. Like, so that was something that that was something that he gave me this week. Possession is positioning. In order to possess what he has, you have to be in the right position. Mm-hmm. Right? So many people position themselves in a way where they feel like, okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm in a good place here to get this. Mm-hmm. I'm in a good. Why? Because their motivation is based off of what we were just saying, like survival, how to manipulate a situation so they can have something. But what God does is he puts us in a place. It's funny because he puts it in a way where you can't get what I have unless you do it in the way that I did it. You know what I mean? Jesus literally went to the deepest, darkest places. You see it. Did you
It's ended.
We're not on, right?
This live video has ended.
Yeah. So should we stop or?
But if you're looking it up, JU-TAUN, they got a show coming up at Ardmore Music Hall. They got music online. You need it. It will be a spiritual experience. They're live, they're local, and they're on Radio 104.5. Clear. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. You hear that? Yes, indeed. Thank you.
So I'm
And another one bites the dust. Oh, why can I not conquer love? And I might have thought that we were one. Wanted to fight this war without weapons. And I wanted it back. But there were too many red flags. But another one bites the dust. Yeah, let's be clear, I trust no one. You did not break me. I'm still fighting for peace. I've got thick skin and an elastic heart, but your blows my feet too sharp, like a rubber band until you pull too hard. Yeah, I'm messed up and move fast. You won't see me fall apart. Cause I've got an elastic heart. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've got an elastic heart. And I will stay up through the night. Yeah, let's be clear, won't close my eyes. And I know that I can survive. I will walk through the fire to save my life. And I want my life so bad. Been doing everything I can. Yeah, another one bites the dust. Yeah, it's hard to lose a chosen one. You did not break me. I'm still fighting for peace.
Okay, we're live. We're live. We're back. We're back, guys. Yeah, we had some issues, boy.
Yes, yes.
Issues with Chang's iPad. It was just freezing up our whole stream. But we're back now.
All your fault, Simone.
It's all your
It's
fault.
been the iPad's fault the whole time.
Right? Let me see if I can get it out.
It's not the iPad's fault. It's your fault.
Just your fault.
You gotta find somebody.
Well, you gotta
to
blame Juanita because that's her iPad.
You see how people always try to blame somebody?
Sorry, babe. Your fault.
Yo, everybody who's watching, we appreciate you guys for sticking with us. Letitia,
Yeah.
everybody in the chat, give us a thumbs up, say hello. We're going to keep the conversation going. And remember, a lot of people had shared the last stream, and we really appreciate that. Please share this one. Again, this is going to be part 2 of what we were talking about. Episode 32, part 2.
Part 2.
Crazy. We never even talk about how we've already done over 30 episodes.
That's crazy.
And the first one, like I remember just, the first time we decided to do this and just trying to figure it all out. We're still having issues 30-something episodes in. But it's getting better. It's getting there. We're figuring it out. Rach is doing her thing over there. Yeah, so share it, everybody. Go to Patreon. Go to Jatan.com. Sign up for the merch and become a member, all that good stuff. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Kanye West thing, right?
Yeah.
Where were we at? The videos weren't working on.
We were talking about.
Let's. Do you want to go back to the George Bush doesn't care about black people? Start there. Play that again since we didn't get the full hilarity of it. See if it's working now.
Hilarity.
Oh, you got to search it up.
Hilarious.
Yeah, because you really have to see the expressions on the face.
Yeah, Mike Myers' face.
Or Kanye's face is like
Kanye's so nervous.
He's like,
he's like,
what am I doing? I'm ruining my career.
I got to do this. But that's what he was talking about when he was like, I've been canceled. And I have to address some comments that were in the Young Lion chat. Some people were saying something about, I saw this after the stream ended, about something about false prophets. And I think people have a tendency to attribute being a prophet to people that never said they were prophets, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think people like, I don't think Kanye West has set himself up to be a prophet. I think he's just saying that he's a guy that believes that he loves Jesus right now and he's trying to follow God, what God is telling him to do.
Yeah.
So for you to put that on him that he's trying to be a prophet and we're not supposed to follow false prophets, I think that's something that you're creating. You're setting up that standard yourself, and you got to be careful of that. Like we have a tendency, especially in the Christian world, to be ready to tear somebody down that you have deemed unworthy. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you have no idea, like, what this person's been through or seen or dealt with or what God's doing with them. So it's not for you to place that judgment on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because anybody could be picked apart like that. Anybody could be, you could take anybody and say, oh, but you do this and you do that. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talk about it all the time, like all the examples in the Bible. They weren't perfect.
Right.
David was not perfect.
All the prophets.
Yeah, all the prophets weren't perfect. Peter.
What did it say about? I mean, most of the prophets, people thought they were crazy, and they didn't want to hear what they had to say.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's your response to all of that.
Yeah, all that.
I was trying to share my
irreversibly.
my stuff.
There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off.
Look at Mike Myers' face.
I mean, this is Red Cross
like,
is doing
what
everything
is
they
happening
can.
right
We
now?
already
Guys?
realize a lot of the
Guys?
people that could help are.
Is this-
Are you even watching this right now?
Where's
fighting
Ashton
another way, and
Kutcher? Am I
they've
being
given
punked?
them permission to go
Am
down
I being
and
punked,
shoot
guys?
us.
And subtle, but in even
He's like,
many
wow, that
ways
was a
more
lot.
profoundly devastating is the lasting
And he goes
damage
right back to
the
the
survivors
prompter,
will
like-
Yeah.
rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
In the past few days,
Yo.
America and people
Okay,
have
we
been
can cut it off.
Do you
Yeah.
think he saw that, Tucker?
No, I don't think Tucker. So maybe, I don't know. You never know with these things. They might have just said, "All right, and now to you, Chris, go." You know what I mean? Like, you know how they do.
He had that look on his face, like he took a side. It could have been a like,
He had it
we're
in his
counting
ear,
you
maybe.
in,
Yeah, right.
Or it could have been he heard all that and was
Yeah.
like, oh boy.
But yeah, so we wanted to play that just because it shows some more context of the backstory of Kanye West's journey, if you will. Because that was like, when was that? That was Hurricane Katrina. That was like, what, 2003, 4?
You know it's dated. You can tell by what Kanye is wearing.
Yeah.
Sally said he's crazy. Sorry.
Greg Sally.
2005.
2005, yeah.
Greg Sally said he's crazy. Sorry,
That's what they say about a lot of people.
but yeah, you can't just. That's what people say when they want to just
Yeah, dismiss you.
dismiss it. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like people say, but Michael Jackson wasn't crazy. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But I think we give passes to the people we want to give passes to. It's like you can't say you can't understand what it's like to live at that level, I think.
Yeah.
So it's easy to call someone crazy when you're not exposed to the things that they're exposed to. I mean, he does have mental illness. clearly that, that's something he's been diagnosed with and is dealing with. But he had a mental breakdown where he was admitted to the hospital. But to like stigmatize people with the crazy word, like that's something that people pull out their back pocket when they want to dismiss someone. So I'm very weary of just throwing that on people. But it's definitely used. So where were we at after that? I wanted to show the clip of him talking about the social media thing, right?
Games. This game was popular with girls. It was a scientific calculation that this set off a certain dopamine specifically in the female mind. What else go like this?
Tinder. What else?
Instagram. So the funny thing is the people that control that, rappers be talking about, I got your bitch. Instagram got your bitch. Instagram got your bitch. Like, I'm sorry, I know my Christian scorecard just went down for using a profane piece of language. You ain't got your Instagram, got all y'all, because they going to do it for the gram before they do it to you. They going to send a picture to the gram before they send it to you. Social media doing more to hurt families than it is to help families, and families are the key to health.
So what did he say about, what about what he just said there is crazy?
It's not.
Nothing.
It's truth.
I mean, like, we talk about that all the time. Like, the fact that social media has become such an integral part of people's everyday, like, it's people are addicted to it. Like, to the point where constantly got to be on there checking it, constantly got to be posting selfies. Like, we see people all the time. And a lot of people that, call themselves prophets. A lot of people that, like, are in the church that are constantly trying to feed that attention that they need from posting selfies on Instagram or Facebook and seeing what reaction they get from it. You know what I mean? And what he's speaking to there is the fact that we're allowing these things to come into our family life and be distractions. Like, people don't have dinner together anymore. People don't have family time together anymore. It's like, if you do, everyone's on their phones, you know what I mean? And everyone's checking their Instagram, checking their Snapchat, checking Facebook, and it's become distractions.
Yeah.
Switchy, that's all you got to say? Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
You want me to elaborate?
But yeah. So let's go to the next clip. I forget what the basis of it is, but I know it's
knowledge to young students.
Oh yeah. So this is where he was talking about like, he talks about like climate change a little bit. Talks about like how a lot of these students are basically end up going to school, attaining all this knowledge, and then putting all their focus into building these corporate entities and not really doing things to help the planet or help people that need the help. You know what I mean? So
that works for third world countries around the world. The amount of energy and engineers that went into turning the iPhone camera from one camera to two, and guess what we got here? We got 3 cameras on you. That takes super long to take a photo if anybody got the new iPhone. But the amount of information and thought that went into that can fix the Bahamas, can fix Haiti. So many people at MIT. Let me tell you, MIT right now, y'all in a box. They have you in a box. You can save the world, but you are working on things that are too small. Take a step back. Stop worrying about your college, your loans. Stop worrying about what job that they got waiting for you in Silicon Valley. MIT, you can save the world. Kids in college, you can save the world. I'm putting my life on this interview right now. It's up to y'all. Y'all have the ability to just step back from what you think culture is today. It's not about any candidate. It's not about red or blue. It's about humanity. Y'all talking about is 12 years of oxygen left. Talking about we gonna kill the earth. We can't kill the earth. We gonna kill the things that keep us alive on the earth, and the earth gonna survive. It's up to y'all. Y'all the future. Y'all the future. But what y'all working on right now? I'm working on this 3D printed thing that is funded by who though? Y'all could do it.
I mean, I think one of the things that he's not really touching on is the fact that by the time you get to MIT, you're already indoctrinated in that idea of like, chasing that Silicon Valley dream. You know what I mean? Like that happens all throughout high school, and when you're a child. You know what I mean? It's that concept of the culture is to get a good job and be rich and working in Silicon Valley. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Tiffany? Tiffany said hi to everybody.
Hey, Tiff.
I don't see that. Oh, you're on the Jatan.
Yeah. I got both up right here.
Xavier.
Which one are you watching?
Young Lion.
There was another part of the interview where he talked about like being woke and how like everyone talks about being woke, but they're following the rules of what woke is. You know what I mean? They're stuck in the concepts of, and we've talked about this before too on here. Like they've hijacked the term woke. To be woke is supposed to be like awake and not sleeping and not controlled and not like brainwashed. But if everything you're woke about is a brainwashing, then you're not really woke. It's just a hijacked form of it. You know what I mean? You're just following the masses on wokeness now. You know what I mean?
It's funny because people, did you hear about the Illuminati?
Yeah.
Did you hear about this? Like, you ain't know about that.
You ain't up on that.
Like, all that stuff is like, it's access that they're giving you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like coming to this door.
That's why I posted that. See if you could pull up that meme I made about the Black Dynamite, about the like how this is how the Illuminati videos on YouTube sound to me, because it just becomes a whole bunch of like connecting dots and sounding like crazy. You know what I mean?
But then it's like, okay, now what?
Now what? Yeah. I think it's on the Young Line TV Instagram. But yeah, it's like you watch those videos and it's just like, yeah, because if you see like Black Panther, now the N is next to the A. Now if you look at that, it's anthrax. Anthrax came from who? Anthrax came from the Muslims. Islam, ISLAM, 5 letters. What's 5? You know what I mean? It's like this whole, like, they just keep connecting all these dots. You're like, I don't understand any of this. Like, and even if it does, like, where are we going with this? You know what I mean? And I remember Black Dynamite, that scene always stood out to me, like how they figured out what was actually happening, like how they were controlling the blacks in the community.
It's a funny scene.
So if anybody hasn't seen Black Dynamite, that's a hilarious movie. It's about it's a parody by Michael Jai White, and it's like a parody about blaxploitation movies in the 70s and how terribly they were produced, which is a whole nother story, I think, because I think a lot of those movies, even though they weren't done well, it was still like they were making their own movies though. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were at least putting out, material by Black artists, Black writers, you know what I mean? And it was a step in the right direction. But now we're just, it's all about Tyler Perry and
Did you hear his he got an award for something? Somebody posted something I saw he was basically saying like the place where he has his studio was a Confederate.
Yeah, I saw that, and he said like he turned it. Now he. Yeah, I saw that.
Where they would come and talk about how can they, have meetings about how can they keep Black people enslaved. Now, Black person owns it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I thought that was interesting, but at the same time was like more of a prideful type thing than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It was just like now I flipped it on you. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that's cool. Oh yeah, here it is.
Come on. It involves Asclepius' own father.
Apollo.
Yeah, thanks, lady.
That's right. Apollo slew the serpent at Delphi, which was a big-ass snake.
That's right. And what, brothers, is the biggest snake in the world?
The South American anaconda.
What she said?
Anaconda malt liquor.
And what is the slogan for Anaconda Malt Liquor? Anaconda Malt Liquor gives you woo! Gives you what? Woo! And who else is famous for?
Woo! Little Richard.
Who?
Little Richard.
So, what they really saying is
Anaconda Malt Liquor gives you Little Richard.
What is another word for Richard?
Yo, that scene is funny. It's like, that whole movie is hilarious because it's so dumb. It's just like dumb on purpose. You know what I mean? But that's what those like Illuminati, like talking about Illuminati. That's what those videos always make me think of. Like just that ridiculous, pointless conversation about connecting dots on things that don't matter. You know, like breaking down a Lady Gaga video. Like it's like I'm not going to watch it anyway because the song's horrible. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I mean, there is something to knowing, like, you know, to knowing, like, okay, these people are doing some stuff. You know what I mean? They're tapped into.
But I think you can know that if you just are seeking anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some people ain't even. I'm just saying, like, there's people who just want to stay ignorant.
But I think, like, I honestly think those people that will stumble across that video are just gonna be like, "You're crazy." You know what I mean? You just seem crazy to them. Like
they just want to stay ignorant.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, the people that you're reaching with those type of videos are people that already know anyway. You know what I mean? So it just becomes like that whole echo chamber thing.
I think it's just people that want to be like, look what I know.
Right.
Look what I can do.
And also, like, now YouTube is this whole world where you can make money off of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can make a whole channel and a whole.
Your whole
like,
thing is
income
exposing
off of the exposes.
Yeah,
the celebrity
Beyonce's
lifestyle.
Lemonade video exposed.
Right, exactly.
See, the yellow dress represents. It's like,
and then for 6 minutes they just be talking some crap
right.
and be like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? 9 times out of 10, like I remember, like back when I used to like click on those videos, or not those type of videos, but any video that I'm like, what are they gonna say?
Yeah,
it always
it's always a disappointment, right?
Always.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's clickbait.
Like
they always
most
have
stuff.
a clickbaity thumbnail.
Yeah,
and
like
it's like
most stuff, like the reality TV shows,
right?
Like it's always
reality TV shows crack me up the way they like try to keep you watching. Like they always like have a little suspenseful part right before they go to commercial to try to make sure you come back and see what's going to happen. But then you realize that was just the way they edited it to make it seem like it was going to be drama, but it really wasn't nothing. When you know, those shows are all crazy.
Yeah, and that's the same thing.
Yo, remember when we were a couple weeks ago we were showing that Miley Cyrus video where she was like, you know, virginity is a social construct, and she was like, you know, had all this like overtly sexual imagery, and this is like right when she left her husband, said she was a gay woman now, you know, so she's in trouble. You hear about her getting in trouble, like getting.
She did another video. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know if she did another video, but I remember she was doing like a live stream on Instagram with like
that's what it was. Yeah, a lot.
Because now she broke up with the girl and she's with a dude again, and she did a live stream talking about how
you don't have to be gay.
Yeah,
that's
she was like, you know, basically saying like she only did that because she was hurt from her relationship, and you don't have to be gay, ladies. You can find a good man, like all this stuff. Yeah. So now the gay community is like dragging her because it's like she's just playing games.
So she's canceled.
Yeah, I don't know if she's canceled, but you know,
she's 2 steps from being canceled.
She might be. I don't know.
She just wants to do whatever she wants to do.
It's just it just becomes like, oh, you just want attention, you know. Tiffany said, I love the podcast. It's off the chain.
Thank you, Tiff.
Chatan music is so beautiful. Thank you, Tiff. Then she said Greta, but I think she meant great. Tiffany's been following us for many, many years.
Yeah.
Always showing
Greta
up.
is now just a pop culture reference.
I know.
Like,
Greta. Yeah, but moving on. Okay, so we talked about the Kanye thing. I also wanted to address something that I saw because we talk about this all the time, how it always seems to come up that they find new things to attach racism to. You know, climate change is racist. We saw how weight change is racist. And it made me think of this comedy sketch that we saw a while ago. We were laughing about this comedian. He does like this song, this rap about how everything you can blame. When you're black, you can blame everything on racism. So I want to play that real quick, and then I want to talk about the newest addition to that.
all right, hold up. What am I playing? Which one? The first or second?
The second one.
Second one?
Yeah. Yep. Doc Brown.
Real rap. It should reflect the hardships in life, you know, of which I've had my unfair share. Okay? I've had some dark times, right, where I used to think it was like me against the world.
I used to think.
You know, and in those times, you got to remember, it's not you, it's them. Because when you're down and out and you're really up against it, just remember the basics. It's a mantra, repeatedly say this. You're not a loser, it's just everybody's racist. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Why do you think nobody ever give you any credit? Why you last on the list of your doctor's patients? Chronological, or is your surgery racist? What type of dog shits on the pavement in front of your house? Alsatian, racist. Say you're typing in a search engine, trying to write haters with a Z at the end, and your computer goes, did you mean haters? That's how you know Google's racist. How come every time an igloo's made, it's always white? Eskimos, racist. So now you know the truth at its plainest. Your car won't start, engine, racist. Your team don't pick you, these guys, racist. Jeans don't fit you, Levi's, racist. If you can't lose weight every time you try it, I guarantee your diet is racist. On your birthday, it rained in places. Fuck the clouds, the whole sky is racist. You got an iPod, shuffling a playlist that ain't picked reggae in a while? Racist. How come every time you get to the queue, you're the last in the queue, dude? That queue's racist. And then when you get to the front, the staff say, hey, thanks for waiting. That's racist. Because the whole post office are skanks. Why do you think they try and sell you second-class stamps? 2 words, institutional racism. You go Nando's, suddenly they make chicken. And you might want couscous or just soup. Too late, man, they already judged you. When you're down and out and you're really up against it, just remember the basics. It's a mantra, repeatedly say this. You're not a loser, it's just everybody's racist.
Okay. So the funny thing about this is that was posted back in 2012. And now it's like, it's almost like
everybody's racist.
No, but it's almost like everything that he's mentioning there, people will on some real shit like complain about. Like,
yeah, we just played that.
People will find a way to connect. Yeah, a couple weeks ago we played how
thing.
the lady was saying that diets are racist and that's why black people can't lose weight. So Xavier in the chat said he wants to know what y'all think about Trump impeachment.
Racist. Trump impeachment, racist.
Yeah. Honestly, my honest opinion on Trump impeachment is it all is just a circus show. Distraction, political games that they play. They know that they're not going to really do anything with it. They know it's not going to get anywhere. It's just something that they do to rally the base. It's something that both sides do. The same thing happened when they was trying to impeach Clinton back in the 90s. It was the same BS. And you see the same arguments happening on both sides. Like, I remember everyone was all outraged because Trump said something about the impeachment was some kind of lynching, which I think he said on purpose because he wanted people to like come at him for that. right? He said something about like this is a political lynching or something like that. And then everyone's like, "Oh, how dare you? How could you possibly say that and associate this with something that's so blah blah blah, whatever." So then everyone, of course, in the world that we live in, goes and finds clips of in the 90s how all of these politicians, black, white, Joe Biden, came out and said that it was a political lynching on Clinton. You know what I mean? So it was like almost like he did that. He's the ultimate troll.
Yeah.
So he does that to get people to respond to it and be outraged and then expose, but you wasn't outraged then. You know what I mean? And like, even people like Joe Biden had to come out and apologize because he said some smart shit on Twitter like, "Oh, how could you say that? It's inexcusable." And then someone posted a clip of him saying it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like all of this stuff is just all pointless distractions. It's just all BS. Like the whole reasoning that they're using, like is all the whole game of what's happening politically now. Like they're trying to keep this idea in the public's head until it's time to vote. That's what the point is, because they want to try to vote. I mean,
if you look at almost his whole term, they've been throwing stuff at him.
Well, that's what it's about. It's about constantly keeping it's constantly keeping derangement and Trump derangement in people's minds. Yeah. So that when it's time to vote again, no one says, "Well, he is doing a good job." You know what I mean? It's like to keep like that distracted. Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. All the stuff he's doing, not even pay it no mind because all this stuff is there.
You think he president 2020? Xavier says.
That's Xavier writing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. To me, it seems like they have a bunch. I honestly think, and this is my theory, I think they have a bunch of like crazy people running for the Democrats right now, and they're going to try to slide Hillary in at the last minute to make her seem like the sane best choice to go up against Trump, because Biden is pretty much on his way out. Bernie's health issues. He probably is the best opposition to Trump right now, Bernie,
right,
or Elizabeth Warren.
But I think Tulsi's the only one that seems sane, but they're trying to run her out.
But have you noticed that ever since that thing that happened with Hillary, Tulsi's poll ratings have gone, like she passed Kamala Harris, she passed Cory Booker. So like she was at like 1% before that. She passed all of them ever since all this happened with Hillary, saying she was a Russian asset. So I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I think that when it comes down to voting, like, usually people win their second term. Usually, his base is going to come out, and it's grown. They've shown that it's grown in a lot of areas. Yeah. So,
I mean, he's doing good. Like, the economy is good. Unemployment is good. So, they do usually win.
Yeah. So, Junior said, do we think he should be impeached? No.
For what?
For what? Like,
what did
To me, it's all dumb. Like, for what?
What was impeachable that he did?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's the thing that they're using to get the impeachment inquiry is
the phone call,
the phone call with the Ukrainian officials. But it's like,
I don't think he even looked at Biden as a real threat. You know what I mean? I think he really just wanted to find the people that was just doing dirt. And he's trying to.
Not only that, it's Joe Biden came out and admitted that he did what he's been accused. Like, he bragged about it. Yeah, there's video of it. You can find it. And his son called him out when he did the interview. So it's like, why? What are we even? Arguing about? Like, it's not even a question. So it's like, okay, he got his son a high ranking position at a company that he had no experience in the Ukraine, and then he admitted himself to threatening to not give them their funding if they don't fire the dude that was investigating
on
him.
camera.
Yeah.
On camera, like, and that's something that Trump didn't do, and they're trying to.
So they're trying to impeach him for something that Joe Biden admitted to doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, to me, it's just like I said, it's all just circus. It's all just circus to keep you watching CNN, keep you watching
That phone call. You said that phone call. First of all, yeah, Biden isn't president,
but he was vice president at the time.
He was vice president at the time.
He was
and
vice president at
what
the time.
he said, what he admitted to doing in a prideful way, Donald Trump never even said anything like that. Like, dude was literally putting the slap down on Ukraine is basically what Biden was saying.
No, he said that, and he bragged. He bragged about it in a way where he was like, "They told me, but you're not the president." And I said, "Well, call him then. Call him then and see what he says." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then his son even admitted, like, he lied about saying that he didn't know that his son was involved in with the company at all, and then the picture comes out with him with his son and the executive from the company, and then his son said that he knew about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, man,
it's just like
it's House of Cards, man. If you guys watch House of Cards, that's what this is.
And if anybody read the transcript from the call that they're talking about with Trump,
like, don't listen to what CNN is telling you and MSNBC is telling you. Read it for yourself.
He's literally having a conversation with the president, like, respectfully. There's like, if you see anything wrong with that, then you're trying to see something wrong with that. Like,
who was it? Nadler that like literally lied in front of Congress.
No,
that was, parodied the
not Nadler.
It wasn't Nadler.
It was Schiff.
Schiff. Oh yeah, Schiff. Like. And then
the
once he got called out for it, he said, "Oh, I thought everyone knew I was joking." It's like, no, people thought, like, all of the news outlets reported that, like, this is what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, people are being sucked into a whole bunch of nothing. Once again,
Xavier said, "So y'all vote for him?"
Y'all vote for him.
I voted for Trump?
Yeah, I voted for Trump.
Yeah,
I'm gonna vote for Trump 2020.
You have a problem with us voting for Trump, Xavier?
What'd he say? He lied? Who lied?
Who lied?
They all lied.
They all lied.
They all lied.
Who
Xavier.
didn't lie? Who didn't lie? Like,
he lied.
That's what he's saying. Like y'all gotta stop being. This is the whole point. Y'all gotta stop being brainwashed by all of these stories going back and forth, trying to get you to pick a side, pick a team.
Wait. What's Duke have to do with it?
Duke is a racist.
Oh, he's talking about Trump. Everything is racist. He's saying Duke, like, he's a racist. Look,
I thought he meant.
Look,
I thought we already had this conversation, Junior. Personally, how is Trump is not a racist? What has he said that is racist? Why do we have to keep on going through this thing?
It's just
because people say it a bunch of times doesn't make it true.
Not only that, it's like, the only reason why you're saying that is because that's the narrative. That's the narrative being pushed to you. That's the narrative. Like, if Trump was a super liberal guy that was a Democrat that got elected to president, we wouldn't be seeing none of these stories right now. We wouldn't be hearing about none of this. CNN would be in love with Trump.
Xavier, you got to write stuff that makes sense. How the wall? What is that?
Yo, why are you asking us to explain all this stuff to you? Like, yo, Google exists, bro. Like look.
Go back to where you came from. That's what Junior just said.
Go back to where you came from. That's racist. First of all, he didn't say go back to where you came from. That's the CNN narrative, the headline that they
talking
about
what he said to
Ilhan Omar. Yeah, that's not what he said. He said, if you think that they do it better in these countries where you came from, you should go there and fix those countries and then come back here and show us how you did it. That's what he actually said.
That's exactly what he said. Yep.
That's what he said. He didn't.
Come on, man.
The whole go back where you came from narrative has been pushed to everybody.
See,
it's just like the.
Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. Kanye West, racist. Like, and I'm saying that because it's like, what did he say? Like, this happened, racist. Like, all you guys have it in your heart because you're jumping on something without even seeking it out.
Right.
Like, you're not even trying to do any kind of seeking.
It's just
and
like
giving anybody the benefit of the doubt whatsoever.
It's just like there's good people on both sides thing, right? People jumped on that for so long without ever looking into it. It's the first time I heard that I looked into it to see what happened. Looked at the actual press conference myself, not the clips that they put up on the news to push a narrative. And in the clip, he literally says, "I'm not talking about the white nationals and white supremacists. They need to be condemned." You know what I mean? Like he said that. So I'm like, okay,
Junior,
Charlottesville, right?
Junior's bringing up he said the S-hole countries,
shithole countries.
That's another thing that I see all the time too, and someone else mentioned that too. Like I think it was somebody who was actually talking to Kanye West, and they said something about like he said that every country in Africa is just full of S-hole shithole countries. And I was like, I don't. That's not what happened.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Again, like they're placing this narrative on. They're framing everything to get you to be enraged, like this. That's why it's called Trump derangement syndrome, because they're framing everything in a way to make you.
What are you talking about? Black people in huts.
Junior's just messing with us.
Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, what can you see what he's talking about? Black people in huts, please.
I'm looking.
Okay.
I've never even heard of
explain the real
about
narrative.
Black people in huts. He said, "Explain the real narrative."
Of what? Black people in huts?
No.
I don't know. Bro,
he's saying explain the real narrative.
Junior, let me tell you right now, man. Just take a breath and let go of this idea. Release yourself from it. Free yourself of it. It's just a way to control you, bro. Trust me. Like, they're using this and they know black people will fall for it because we tie ourselves so much to wanting to fight against racism that we have to latch onto these narratives, and you're being controlled by it. You're being controlled by it, man. Like the things that really matter in the community, you talk to me about this plenty of times. The things that you see on a day-to-day basis in your neighborhood, the things that you see that people are doing wrong. It's like what Kanye was talking about. Like, you want to talk about the culture, but the culture is more concerned with, being flashy, buying certain cars, wearing certain clothes,
bitches and hoes,
and then want to talk about prison reform at the same time. You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways. We need to start fixing our household, our communities. Worry about all you need to do is worry about how you raise your daughter and how you handle yourself as a man and as a father, and be the best you that you can be. Stop being pulled into all of these narratives. Like, trust me, the news is lying to you on all sides. They're all trying to get you to keep watching by your outrage. They use your outrage to keep you tuning in. The same thing happens on Facebook. The same thing happens on YouTube. They use the algorithms. They know what you click on. So when you click on Trump bait, they keep feeding you Trump bait. And then they want you to keep clicking on Trump bait so they can sell you tissues or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, whatever comes up in your feed. Like, it's all programming, bro.
Obama.
Ooh, my bad. Hold on 1 second. So the Huts thing is apparently from a New York Times article that was
New York
another one of
Times.
these Oval Office meetings where apparently there were 6 officials meeting with him talking about Nigeria and Haiti. And his comment was, we got too many people from those countries and they, quote unquote, all have AIDS. He grumbled, according to one person who attended the meeting and another person who was briefed about it by a different person who was there. This is from the article.
And this is the
article.
thing. Like, and this is the thing that you got to realize, bro. You have no idea what really happened. These are people that have agendas that are coming out and saying, "Oh, I heard this or I heard that."
Yeah,
like,
it's not from his mouth.
None of this stuff is been coming from his mouth.
Do you guys understand that these people want to take him down? They want to keep control over you. And it's easy because you will lash out at the things that you're hurt by.
So the end of that is apparently he said once they had seen the United States, they would never, quote unquote, go back to their huts in Africa, recalled the 2 officials who asked for anonymity to discuss a sensitive conversation in the Oval Office. So same as the S-hole country's comment.
Right. It's the same story. And this has happened many times where it's like someone who was involved in a meeting said that they heard him say this, but it's like, so you're saying it's out of his mouth, but how can you really know that? How can you really be sure of that? He said, but yo, it's from his mouth. It's from dude's mouth. Bro, you're just going off of what someone's telling you. Like, stop listening to what people are telling you. If you don't see it for yourself, don't believe it, man. Don't believe it. Like,
First of all, let me just say this. If you say you're a Christian,
talk to him.
Okay. Well, it's easier to look at you.
Okay.
And talk to you like I'm talking. No, but if you say that you believe in God, right? Believe in Jesus, right? Aren't you supposed to pray for your enemies? Aren't you supposed to have hope and believe?
Especially the one that's in the place of leading the country right now.
Yeah. They can see a change, but not only that, you don't know the whole story. So just because media says something, they've lied over and over again. You're just going to believe everything that they're saying?
They lied.
Especially New York Times.
They've lied consistently. They lied during Clinton. They lied during Bush. They lied during the other Bush. They lied during Obama.
Mm-hmm.
They lie about everything. All of it is, CNN has to fill a 24-hour, 24/7 news cycle. They have to fill it. Like, I don't know if you saw, I don't think you were watching when we showed the clip of them during the Gulf War when they were literally faking news. Literally faking it just to have content. This is what they do. And they know right now there's something called the Trump bump that when they go in and talk about and get everyone riled up about it, they get ratings. Mm-hmm. The Russia story got MSNBC its best ratings in years. And then once that ended up being not what everyone thought it was, all of their ratings tanked. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what they
are
do.
in it for the money.
They're in it for advertising.
Most people are in it for the money. In the long, most politicians are in it for the money.
Right.
Trump is cutting off their sources. That's why they're mad. That's why they're trying to do all this stuff. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, he didn't have to take the presidency job. It's not like he did it for a reason.
Well, I mean, anybody could pick it apart and say he did it for his ego. He's a fame hog. He's a fame hog. He wanted it to increase his brand. Fine. Okay. If that's what you think and that's what you believe he's doing it for, fine. But what I'm saying is, don't be pulled into the narratives that they're pulling you into. Like, if that's what you believe because you really believe that and you're honest, then that's cool. But you need to really make sure that that's reality and you're not being brainwashed and being controlled, because that's what's happening with a lot of these stories, a lot of these narratives.
And there's a difference, too, between, watching him at a rally or watching him speak and listening to him directly and forming your own opinion about how he's speaking, how he's controlling things. Right. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But classic journalism, so as soon as it comes from whoever was in the Oval Office So actually, it's third-hand information. It's
Right.
not even
It's
second-hand
third-hand
It's not even
information.
second-hand information because second-hand information would be Trump said it to somebody and that somebody said it to you.
Right.
And you could say, wow, you were in the room with Trump.
Right.
All right, at least I got to give you some credit because you're staring in my face telling
Right.
me this.
Mm.
No, now they're telling it supposedly to a news source. Want to remain anonymous.
As an anonymous source.
Won't even stand
to the
behind
news
the
source.
word.
Yeah.
And the news source is not biased or doesn't have an agenda.
Right.
Like,
but this is the same news source that just got caught with the whole. We were just talking about the Hillary and Tulsi Gabbard thing, right? And the New York Times originally put out the story saying that Hillary Clinton says that she's a Russian asset. She's being used by the Russian to set up as a third party candidate to basically sabotage the election for the Democrats. This is New York Times. Everybody was reporting this because this is what Hillary Clinton said on the podcast.
Yep.
So then they go back 2 days later and they change
that
the
shit.
story to, and they take out Russians and they put in Republicans. That the Republicans are the ones doing this because it became such a bad story that they wanted to change the narrative and protect Hillary Clinton.
But the worst part is they didn't say anything about it at all. They just changed the article.
Right. They didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
They just literally changed the words of the article,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be unethical in journalism.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can't do that, but they can do that now. We talked about this before with the power of the idea of the internet and articles on the internet. They can always go back and edit them. But the thing is that there's these sites that archive websites. So people have been able to pull up the difference and say, this was on this date, this is what you had, and now you changed it to this.
Yep.
You didn't tell anybody. And this is the fake shit that they're doing.
Yeah.
This is the shit that they're doing to manipulate people's way of thinking and understanding of a story. So then when they come out later and they say, oh, Hillary never said that.
Yeah.
You misunderstood.
Yeah.
She was talking about the Republic, and then you go back like, nah, let me see. Y'all even said it, and then you go and look, and I'm like, oh damn, they did say Republicans. Maybe I missaw that. Maybe I read it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
And
there's an audio of her saying Russian.
But then they put it.
But then they could take that down.
YouTube,
Yeah.
They could
Google,
YouTube can remove that stuff. Like they all there was the videos that leaked of the Google executives after Trump won. And they were basically talking about how did we let this happen? We can't ever let this happen again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so they have made it their mission to, like, look at Tulsi. We talked about this last week. Tulsi Gabbard is suing Google because of the way they handled her ads after she was the #1 search topic on that first debate. They suppressed her ads and wouldn't let people find her.
Yeah.
Steven Crowder
in the United
exposed,
States.
Yeah, Steven Crowder just exposed last week that they totally removed her from the search, even though Hillary Clinton was just making her the #1 trending topic on Twitter. They removed her from the search on YouTube and on Google, so you couldn't find her. If you saw the tweet and then you said, "Oh, let me find out more about this," or I want to go support her.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't find her. You know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff that they're doing to interfere, to push the people that they want to push and suppress the people that they want to suppress. Change the
Right.
narrative. And if you're not aware of these things, you just think that everyone is being objective and no one has an agenda and everything that I'm seeing is true. No, everything that you're seeing is propaganda. It's propaganda. They're trying to sell you
What
something.
do you feel from all this? Do you feel threatened? Do you feel fear? Do you feel anxiety?
Who, me?
No, I'm talking about people who are listening to this.
Oh.
I know I'm looking at you.
You're looking at me.
But
I was going to say, like...
what I'm saying is, like, a lot of times, what do people feel? Because that shows that they're winning. Because they're getting you to feel a certain way.
Right.
You know, and that's where the fear is.
Well, that they want to keep you in fear because, Xavier said just like 9/11. Exactly. Because what did 9/11 do? 9/11 put people in fear and allowed them to quickly give up rights to the government. And the Patriot Act was signed without any question. No one even thought about it. Because they use these opportunities. And the government has done it for decades.
I mean, it's as simple as if you get hit, like, you get in a car accident. Somebody comes in. I got this loan for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you lost. Like it was your fault. You got to pay all this money. Like here you go. I'm gonna give you this. Like you're gonna
You'll be more likely to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's an opportunity at the right time.
Right.
Now, if somebody set that car accident up for you, you know what I mean?
Right.
You never know.
Right.
Like these are things that could happen.
Those are things that happen all the time.
Yeah.
Or it's like, yeah, like they set you up in a way where now you're more willing to buy some life insurance, right?
Right.
Yeah, like, and they've been on record. Companies do this stuff all the time. They set up a they create a problem to then sell you the solution.
Right. Order out of chaos.
Right. The opioid crisis. You know, this is what they do.
Feed you fast food.
Feed you fast food
and give you pills to fix it.
Right.
Right. What's one of the biggest diseases right now in the country?
Diseases?
Mm-hmm.
Diabetes.
Right. Type 2 diabetes.
Type 2, yeah.
Right, because of our diets.
Right.
So what do? They don't tell you what is going on with
that's
type 2.
That's gonna be the next thing, because who does diabetes affect most?
Black people.
Diabetes racist. Diabetes racist, yo. We were just about to get into how math is racist,
but
so we got
but
sidetracked.
think about how they treat diabetes, right?
Right.
Diabetes means, well, type 2 diabetes, you're not producing insulin. You have an insulin problem. Therefore, you have a carb problem.
Right.
Eat more carbs.
Eat more carbs.
Eat more carbs
Yeah.
and take these pills.
Right.
While you're at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but now what are they finding? If you take away the carbs, people are getting set free from diabetes, type 2 diabetes.
If you fast.
You fast.
Yeah, fast.
Or stop your carb intake.
Yeah.
Eat more meat. Animal fat.
But who figured that out? It wasn't the medical or it wasn't the medical field.
Right.
It was people who stepped outside of the box and said, wait a minute. You know, because everybody's just thinking the same way. Take these pills, do this. You think about it. Like, have you been to an emergency room lately? They give you the same thing. Like, I was just dealing with this with my wife. Like, she was having issues with getting infections. And the thing is, they're giving you stuff to continue you getting the infections. Right. Because you're depleting yourself of the bacteria that fights the infections.
Right.
It's killing the bad bacteria, but it's killing the good bacteria too.
And they've been finding out a lot more that, like, this overtaking of antibiotics is creating these new diseases that are ineffective. Like antibiotics don't affect them anymore.
Right.
You know. And it's killing the bacteria in your gut that has a lot to do with your health, your sleep, your inflammation, like all these things that happen in your body. The good bacteria in your gut is needed for that.
Yeah, but they're not. All they're worried about is their turnover.
Right.
You know, and it's not like it's the doctor's fault. It's the system that we're under. You guys get what I'm saying? Because Jamie's like in his phone.
No, so, I'm listening to you. I'm reading someone's comment.
It's the system that
this
we're
is how
under.
I feel at rehearsal every week.
Okay.
Boom.
Anyway, so it's the system that we're under. It's the way where this person is controlled by this. This person is controlled by this. The patient who's taking it is they just want something so they can get it away. I just don't want to deal with this. So what do I got to do to take it? Good. You know, take this pain away from me instead of like actually dealing with it.
Quick fix.
Yeah,
That's
actually finding the root of the issue and cutting that root.
What?
No, I'm laughing at Tiffany, because she was a bunch of people were commenting on here. I didn't see all this, but her last comment was hilarious. She said, "It's just I think he is a sorry president. I'm so sorry. That's how I feel. I hope and I pray he will not win again." President next year, I'm going to be praying hard. Jesus, take the wheel. Listen, you should just be praying, Jesus, take the wheel, and let God's will be done even if it goes against what you think it should be. You know what I mean? Because that's really trusted in God. It's not God give me what I want to happen. You know what I mean? Like the people crack me up with that fake Christian stuff. Like Jesus, take the wheel and give me what I want. It's like, that it don't work that way.
It's not he's not a magic.
It's not
lamp that you.
Yeah, he's not a genie.
And no offense to you, Tiffany, but that's the way a lot of people are programmed to think. But to trust in him is he challenges you. He challenges your thinking and the way we think about things.
Right. Oh, heck yeah. Even
and it happens.
The start of the sorry to cut you off. The start of the whole Trump thing, it took me a while. Like, I'm like, for real, this dude is really running.
And it happens all the time. That's why prophets in the Bible were like on the outskirts. People didn't want to deal with them.
Like, who was the one that was living in the cave? You know what I mean? Like out in the wilderness. Wasn't it Elijah? Wasn't he like out?
Elijah, but there were other prophets too at that time that were hiding because of Jezebel.
Yeah.
But
hold on real quick. Kathleen says it's all about the money, and we are too often dumb enough to just buy what they are selling and not do our own research. She's talking about like media. It's all about the money for them.
Yeah,
that is very true.
That's true.
Very, very true. She said, "Amen, Jake. You're so right. I'm going to pray for Trump that much harder to be a better president than what he is now." And that's what we all should be doing.
Yeah.
And it's not to pray, like again, to what Tiffany was saying. Like I get it, but it's not to pray what we think.
Right.
It's to pray His will.
Yeah.
Like God, you do it.
Because to even to say like, Jesus, take the wheel and give me what, like, I'm going to pray for what I think should happen. It's like, that's like the cockiness of that, thinking that you understand, you know more than God.
Yeah. You're already putting yourself in the seat of judgment.
Right.
Which isn't good. Like you can't, your prayer can't be heard because you've already placed yourself in a position where he can't do anything for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's something, I was saying this earlier when we got cut off, but there's something that God gave me. He spoke to me like possession is position.
I saw it when you posted that.
And in order to possess, like, you know how it talks about Israel possessing the land. In order to possess what God has, you have to be in the right position. And that position is getting down low and humbling yourself every time.
Right.
Or else you're not going to be able to see it. Our mind and the way we think, he always has to destroy that thinking. So a lot of times people think we're going through issues and disasters. Oh, it's the devil. It's the devil. But a lot of times God is allowing you to go through it so you can humble yourself.
Right.
So you can seek him and so he can come in. But you got to allow him in. Or else we're doing it ourselves.
Right.
And that's the main problem with a lot of this, especially just saying, oh, Trump is a racist. He's this, he's that. You're judging, you're bringing in your own solutions to it, trying to figure it out yourself instead of taking yourself out of the equation and allowing God into those situations. And humble yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Humble yourself. Like, you can't, if you think you know everything, then you know everything.
Right.
How can you, if you're already full, he can't give you nothing. And a lot of times that's what happens. People, they're fighting so much because of what they know. And a lot of what we're saying is that we don't know everything.
And not only that, it's like everything that you know has been given to you on purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? All of these things that you think you know as a fact or know as like wisdom, a lot of times it's given to you to purposely move you in a direction. It's given to you to keep you in a certain place where you're easily manipulated, you're easily controlled. If they can get everyone to stay in their lane, like, yo, black people vote 90-something% Democrat. That's like, they don't even have to think about it. It's like, we know where they at. Here you go, stay there. That's why people don't understand what Kanye is trying to do by putting on a Trump hat. It's about breaking that mentality, breaking that spell that's over everybody, where it's like we just do this because that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got us figured out. And he's trying to show that it don't have to be that way. That's why he was like, you don't gotta vote. I'm not saying don't vote Democrat, but I'm saying, like, think for yourself. You know what I mean? Break yourself out of that way of thinking like the culture is bigger than my own free thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you trying to prove yourself? Like, what are you trying to prove? We're not here to prove ourselves. We're here to share what we have come to know and know through us humbling ourselves.
And the things that we've been, like all we can do is tell y'all our opinion on things that we've learned through what we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that we've seen.
Or in our experiences through faith.
Right.
Through humbling ourselves.
Walking in the faith that God's given us and the things that he's shown us. And anything beyond that, we can't give you because we don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't act like you don't know, and you don't have to act like you know.
Right.
Because that's what religion is.
Yeah. Kathleen is in here preaching to people. That's what's up. Yeah, so I mean, again, it's like once you start just totally buying into all of those things, and Junior, I think he checked out. I think he's mad at us. he hasn't said anything since. But once you start like making yourself totally available to that idea that like, all right, anything that they say is racist, I got to be against, or else you know the culture will reject me. It's like that's when they can keep inserting more things.
Well, you're bound to that.
Right.
That thing.
You're a slave to that now.
It's just like because it's not like you be like on another side of it. If you follow Jesus, you're a Christian. It's not like you're not going to just be bound to something else if you don't rely on him.
Right.
Because all it's going to be is like, oh, I just want to be totally, sold out for God.
Right.
Well, that's your rule now.
Right.
And now that's going to be manipulated against you.
Right.
Because how do you know what that looks like?
You don't.
You don't. He knows what that looks, because he's the one that did it, Jesus, right? And it's only us seeing it through him and allowing him into the deep places in us. Because most people, they want to look at sports, they want to listen to music, they want to be distracted, they want to dance, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these things.
Right.
What I'm saying is that they don't want to pay attention to the truth, but they want to be distracted from the truth that's inside of them because they don't want to deal with their emotions. And then when things happen in their life that bubble those things to the surface, that's where they get upset.
But then they just blame that on the devil.
And they don't want to deal with it.
And they never deal with it.
But that's when you go to God, that's your opportunity.
Jesus, take the wheel on this one. Take the wheel on this one, Jesus.
But those are the times where if you can see him in the right way, that's the attraction that he has to come close to you.
Right.
But you got to be able to see him that he can come into those areas. And if you can't see him that way, then you don't need him.
Right.
And because you're still doing it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
See, you don't need him.
But that's why that part where he says, didn't I do this in your name? Didn't I do that in your name? And he's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Because it's like you did all that out of your own, proving yourself. You never needed me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we don't have that relationship. I don't know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
5 steps to a better life. 8 steps to pleasing God.
Right.
Like
12-part series on your prosperity.
Right. If that entices you, that's showing you your own self-centeredness.
Right.
How can I do this?
It's
How
showing
can
you,
I?
It's
How
also
can
showing
I?
you what you're still ruled by.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're still ruled by the desires to fulfill certain things. You know what I mean? That aren't never given to you by God.
You're still judging yourself.
Right.
Because, and it goes right back to the beginning. Because in the beginning, when Adam and Eve ate the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what did they do? They looked at themselves.
Right.
right?
But what did the serpent do? The serpent focused them on their ability to be like God, and gave them that choice to say, like, you know, he's lying to you. You know what I mean? So then he played on their own desire and wants to not be left out of the knowledge. You know what I mean? Instead of just totally trusting in what God told them and moving in that, they moved in their own desire to want to know more. You know what I mean?
Right. But now they're fallen. Right. Now they're at a fallen state, and they've already let that in. So now they're looking at themselves.
Right.
They're self-conscious now. Right. Before they weren't self-conscious.
Right.
So now they're looking at
That's why they had
themselves
to
and
cover
see
themselves.
that they're naked.
Yeah.
Right. So my point is that we are self-centered. We are self-conscious until we see Jesus and we let him in. And that's a continual thing that we do. It's not like, oh, Jesus died for me. I'm good.
Right.
I believe it.
I'm saved.
I'm saved. No, you have to continually work out all the issues inside of yourself. Continually.
Right.
And if you're pointing the finger and blaming people for anything, you still got to work some things out.
And I think that that's one of the things that really, really plagues a lot of us, and especially people like that we grew up with, people that we know in the black community, people that we like. I used to be attached to that. It took me a long time to that need to identify with the victimness of like racism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That need to like latch on to that and hold on to like the fact of proving racism all the time. You know what I mean? Because then it somehow makes you feel like all of your like the ideas of being oppressed are valid. You know what I mean?
But it keeps you in the place of oppression.
Right, right.
And that's the key. And he is the Redeemer. You know, and so what are we doing? We're holding on to those lies inside of us. We're not letting them go.
Right.
Because we got to prove our feelings. We got to prove them. And how do we prove them? By blaming other people, by trying to find it and pointing the finger.
Right.
So we hold on to that pain. Right. And if we let him in, we can let it go because he can take it away. But that's not an easy thing to do.
Right. And like you said, it can easily be, you can easily substitute one form of desire for another when you then put all of your, like, you put that same energy into, now I'm in church, now I'm just like proving myself through the church system. You know what I mean? And I got to be the best Christian. I got to have everything figured out. I got to present myself as though I don't do anything wrong and I'm just, you know what I mean? I love God, you know what I mean? And now you're just continually proving yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wanted to, we never got to that clip of the thing that we were talking about with the church and Kanye West.
Okay.
I want to play that now if we can, just to talk about that a little bit, because I want to get into what we were talking about, you know, the hypocrisy there. It was the Breakfast Club.
What up, Tiff? I'm still here. Conversation getting deep. They was in a...
With Angela Yee.
Even this, like, gotta know the rumors.
So as you know, Kanye West has been doing his Sunday service, and he was at one church in Atlanta, at Atlanta's New Birth Missionary Baptist Church with Pastor Jamal Bryant. Now, Pastor Jamal Bryant was okay with Kanye performing at his church, but he doesn't want Kanye to donate money. He says that after he received the donation, he consulted with his congregation, and they decided they did not want to keep the money because of Kanye's support of Trump. They said, to say that you unashamedly support Donald Trump, he called the mother continent of Africa a collection of ish whole
That's what it
nations.
was, yes.
He says,
The
I don't align with the
collective
statements
continent.
of Kanye West. I don't endorse it, nor do I subscribe to it. And I am not a runaway slave. To that end, Mr. West made a significant donation to New Birth Cathedral, but I do not want to be guilty of double speech. I met with my team today, and the donation that he made to our church, I am now redirecting. I'm going to be giving that donation he gave to Morris Brown College.
I'm not mad at him donating to a HBCU. I'm all for that, but I think that's foolish logic. And the reason I think that's foolish logic is because you're not going to take money from the government. Like, you're not going to take federal assistance. Like, what if?
I don't
like,
know that
like,
do churches get government assistance?
I'm just saying, but are you telling people not to take government assistance from this man? Like, what if they give out reparations? We're not supposed to take reparations from this government?
If that's something that you're fighting for, but the church has every right to say all money's not good money.
Yeah, but
and especially because I think with church it's about morals, it's about different things, and if he feels like that's not in alignment with the church, which is private, right?
Yeah,
it's a private institution.
But taking money from a man, not taking money from a man because of his political
they let him perform.
views, but he was okay to perform in the church, but you're not going to take his money? Like, that makes no sense. How does that add up?
Well, listen, he consulted with his congregation, and that's what they decided.
Okay, so what it sounds like is his congregation had some backlash about it. You know what I mean? But Charlamagne's making some points there. Okay, like the hypocrisy of it is like, okay, I can't take this money because it came from someone who supported a guy that we consider immoral, or we consider to have disrespected Africa. You know what I mean? But we'll take money from people that disrespect the community all the time. We'll take money from people that literally indoctrinate our children in drugs and bad behavior and womanizing and all the things that go against everything that we stand for from Christianity. We'll take their money gladly all the time. From organizations. If they get a donation from an organization that has shady business practices, they'll take that money.
Yeah.
And not think twice about it.
Well, what did he say? He said, we don't want to be accused or convicted of double speech.
Yeah, double speak, yeah.
Double speak, yeah. So it's like you're already projecting your fear.
But you're controlled.
Right.
You're controlled.
You're already projecting your fear.
Right. So do you fear God, or do you fear what people are going to say about you, or going to accuse you of?
Right.
You know what I mean? No, we care about what the congregation says, because if we lose members, we lose money. You know what I mean? And so many churches, like I want to tell this story. Y'all remember when we were on tour, we were in LA, and we were staying at a hotel.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm about to say,
remember.
right?
I remember.
And there was this church. We were downstairs in the lobby playing spades. I remember. I think you were with us.
Yep.
We were down there playing.
Jake was my partner, yelling at me.
And me and Dave were teammates. And I remember this church group was down in the lobby, and they started chatting with us or whatever. And we were just talking like, "Oh, where are y'all from?" I forget where they were from, but they weren't from LA.
They were from like
Midwest somewhere or something.
No, I think they were from like Kentucky or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But somewhere far. And they said that they traveled to LA to give their pastor a birthday celebration. Their pastor was...
And a birthday gift.
Right. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. So the birthday celebration was... So now we're inquisitive guys, you know, as Rachel is learning. We will ask some questions, right? So we're asking questions like, oh, for real? Like, all y'all, the whole church came out here? Yeah, we're staying. Like, some of us staying 4 or 5 to a room because we just really wanted to give the pastor his celebration. And, you know, we thought it would be a good thing. And we raised him $1 million for his birthday. Okay. Y'all raised him $1 million?
True story.
Are y'all rich? No, they're all broke, barely pay their bills, but pastor gets $1 million for his birthday. Then next thing you know, the pastor rolls up to the front lobby of the hotel. What was he driving?
Bentley.
No, it was a Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Oh, that's what it was.
Rolls-Royce Phantom. He rolls up in a Rolls-Royce Phantom with a Gucci suit on and a Bible wrapped in Gucci.
I thought it was Louis Vuitton.
No, it was Gucci, man. I remember because I know them.
Gucci Bible?
He had a Gucci Bible.
Gucci Bible case.
And it's like, but they were so proud and happy to have been able to do this for him. You know what I mean? And we hear these stories all the time from like congregations. And James, if James was here, he'd be hollering right now about like, I remember when he was going, I'm not going to mention the church out here, but it's one close by. And, you know, they were talking about how the pastor needs a Bentley for his birthday. You know what I mean? And it's like, we need to raise the money to get the pastor a Bentley for his birthday. And it's like, so that's okay.
And then it was like, come on, guys. We need to show off for our pastor.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Show off.
And we need to show how our pastor is the best or something like that.
Yeah. And this idea of like that's somehow doing God's work, like that's become, you know, and did you ever see the clip of Kenneth Copeland when he got approached by the lady from Inside Edition asking about his private planes?
Oh, it's funny.
Okay, you have to look that up real quick. Just look up. Look, here you go. Look up Kenneth Copeland Tube of Demons, and see where that takes you. There's going to be a interview with a lady from Inside Edition, but she's approaching him because someone interviewed him about why he has to own private planes, and he said he can't ride in a plane with regular people because that would be him being in a tube full of demons.
Us regular folks are demons.
Damn.
So she questions him on this. Now you have to see his react because, like, when I tell you like his it's just not normal. It's just not normal. Yes, this is it right here.
I'd like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial. Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
No, listen to me just a second. Not the people. The main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. That's really the main.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid.
He's getting super pissed.
You kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
Well, if you'd like to come out here, I'd like to give you a chance to catch your breath and have a conversation. We don't want to catch you off guard.
I love Inside Edition. You got to get this now. Hey, you listening to me? My wife thinks Inside Edition is, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, thank you, Lord. Help me.
Let me just ask you a really simple question. A lot of people think it's unbecoming for a preacher to live a life of luxury and to fly around in private jets. What's your response to that?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do. We have brought over 100, let's see, the latest figures just came out, 122 million people to the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me give you another example.
That's facts right there. Huh?
Last May, I was scheduled for Lagos, Nigeria. That's a long ways. I had a week off, and I was scheduled for Peru. And I prayed about it, and I thought, I'm not missing that dedication in Jerusalem. Without the airplane that we had.
Drunk? He got them crazy eyes, boy.
Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
Well, my question then, okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons because people are very concerned about that comment.
Give me a chance here, Inside Edition. I love your eyes. And here's what happened. We flew in 21 days, 70 hours, 40,000 miles, touched 5 continents, and preached face to face personally with 125,000 people.
Do you ever Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. What did you mean?
Well, let me ask you.
Do you think that people that fly commercial are demons?
If you give me a chance to talk, sweetheart, I'll explain this to you. But it's a biblical thing. It's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything to do with people. People, I love people. Jesus loves people. But people get pushed in alcohol. Do you think that's a good place for a preacher to be and prepare to go preach to a lot of people when somebody in there is dragging some woman down an aisle? It made me so mad to see that on television. I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that while I'm getting ready to preach.
So you just don't like to be around the sinful people or the hurtful people. Is that what you're saying?
Not the people, baby. Not the people. Back during the days that we
Okay, I can't take any more of this. All right.
Yo.
Okay, Jake, I need you to give me your comments on that clip, because I don't think I ever talked to you about it.
What did he say at the end about not the people?
He said, "Not the people." Well, I get what he's saying. Like, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, powers and principalities. So he's saying, people that are dealing with a lot of things that have demonic attached to them. He's in a plane with those people, and it gets in the way of what he's trying to do. Okay, but you don't have power against that.
Yeah.
And that's why you need 3 private planes and
not only that,
tons of
that justifies you taking all that money and not putting it back into your cause.
Right.
And
not helping the people that need it
right.
in your congregation. You know what I mean? Helping the community.
All over the world,
Right.
However,
right.
It's going to you buying private planes because you can't fly commercial.
Right. But
he looks nuts.
Yeah.
He looks possessed. That's the main.
He looks exactly possessed.
That's the main thing about that clip.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, "You got the crazy. That's the classic crazy eyes."
But it's like he switches between different types of crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's literally one is trying to be a charming crazy, and then it goes to rage crazy, and then back to charming, and then confused and scared. It's
yeah. I think those are just tactics of what he's used to doing to be able to deal with different situations.
Guard a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because when you're a charismatic person, when you're used to being in front of people, you have ways of dealing with it. You know what I mean? And it's not genuine, obviously.
Yeah. But do you get what he was trying to say at all?
I mean, not really.
It just seemed like he was trying to search for a excuse for needing to live a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to think on his toes.
And then recently Benny Hinn came out denouncing the whole prosperity movement, saying that he was wrong for that and all of that. Hold on, let me see what people are saying in the chat. Kathleen said, "Crazy eyes, exactly what I was thinking." And Tiffany said, "Wow, Kenneth Copeland, I can't get over this." Yeah, I mean, listen, these. What are you showing? What are you guys doing over there?
No, it was being weird.
Oh, what was being weird? The stream?
The stream, yeah.
Oh.
He's making sure we're on point. We all good.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're good over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then my phone died.
Yeah. see, people don't understand like the way that whole charismatic movement took hold in the States and in the islands. Like this whole movement of the new style of preaching with these charismatic preachers that came in and created this whole new wave of Christianity. That's what led to the prosperity movement and this whole like Benny Hinn and going out there, the Hadouken. Remember those clips, those memes of him like healing people. Like, remember he wave his hand and the whole front row just falls out. It's like this spectacle that became what God is, you know, that totally takes away from a real relationship.
Yeah.
And seeking out God for yourself. It's like you go to these big mega churches and have these experiences.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with having wealth.
Of course
I don't
not.
think there's anything wrong with having planes. But when that becomes the message, it's like, okay, if you do this stuff, you work hard, then you can have things. And it's, why do you need Jesus for that?
Right.
You don't.
Or even if you sow the seed, sow $1,000 right now, because that's what Benny Hinn was talking about. Like they used to,
yeah.
Sow a seed of $1,000 right now, and God's gonna do this, and it's gonna be you in the private plane. It's like, so what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, even name it and claim it. You
Right.
know, that was a thing.
Right.
You put you have a car you want, you put it on your wall.
Right.
And
What's the difference between that and witchcraft? You know what I mean? Putting an image
there is no difference.
Image of put an image of the person that you love in a thing and bury it in the ground. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, because that becomes your image or your status of success.
Right.
Or even a blessing, like of I made it,
Yeah.
And it's funny because so many of these preachers so many of these preachers they speak out of Malachi 3.
Yeah.
About stealing from God, but really when you speak in that way, you're stealing from God, because you're putting yourself in the way of the grace of God for people.
Right.
Because we're supposed to give into who He is. And we give, what do? We lay down our own life.
That's one of the other hilarious like hypocrisies and ironies of that church not accepting Kanye West's donation, because that was the same church that, I don't know if y'all heard about, T.I. was at a church, and he there was a picture of him that went viral because the collection plate was coming around, and he totally was like, had a screw face on, but he told the story about it, saying that like that the dude that went up there was doing the same thing. I need 20 people to give $1,000 right now, and because there's a bunch of celebrities in the room and rappers, he knows that he can get that money out of them. And what was he saying, like come get these blessings or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was
Didn't he say they passed it around twice too?
They did pass it around twice.
Like he came in not at the very beginning.
Yeah, and then when they saw he got in later, so they said, "Oh,
like we need second seats.
We need seconds." Yeah,
they pass it around a lot.
But what I'm saying is like, but that's okay. Like getting money in that way is okay, and like, using Malachi 3 and using like God's word to manipulate people in that way, and make them think that if they don't give their money, they won't get their blessings. Like that's okay. But someone really trying to donate out of what God is showing them, you can't take it because they said I support Trump. Like to me, it's like
it don't make no sense that they would let him perform there and they wouldn't take the money like y'all said anyway. I kind of feel like they just want to be in the news. I kind of feel like they want to be
that could very well be as well. Like they needed a story.
Get some more celebrities.
I just think they were
donate to their cause.
I think they were just trying to cover their tracks.
Yeah, in case, in general.
They probably got hit like with a lot of people saying, I don't know, that he's a Trump supporter, and then they were like, you know what?
Put this out.
Yeah.
Tiffany said, I just want to let you guys know, Tiffany said, this is a very good podcast. I love it. Thanks,
you,
Tiff.
Thanks, Tiff.
Make sure you go to the Patreon and become a young lion yourself. Sign up to become a member.
Young lioness.
But I did see.
That's what Arya's name means, by the way.
I did see a
beautiful name.
Interview with T.I. talking about it. You can see how he's turned off. You know what I mean? And you can see how, like, he's
using that to validate his own judgment against the church.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And stay in his own pride.
Right.
And which I get, but it's like, you know how they say you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater type thing. Like,
yeah. Hey, what's up, Lisa? Our cousin Lisa's watching. She said hi. I just wanted to say hi.
Hey, Lisa.
What's up, Lisa?
But you can't. It just shows you, like, okay, cool, I can stay where I'm at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
Like,
This is exactly
and
what
it's
I
funny
thought. Yeah.
that people even say that. No, I'm
Right.
good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'll
I'm
stay
good.
where I am.
You're right.
Because it just shows you, okay, I don't need anything.
I don't need to grow at all. Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like, or I'll do it myself. I'll
Mhm.
take it on myself. And most people are more comfortable doing that than they are with giving it up. You know what I mean? It's harder to say, I'm going to allow God into my situation. It's easier to say, I'm going to take control of this. And even like giving money and saying, oh, if I do this, then I'll have this.
Right.
That's still a way to keep control.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if I can manipulate the system, but you think it's easy? You think you're going to manipulate God? You know what I mean? Like,
People do. Like, people really have bought into that concept of, like, but they don't even see it in that way. And that's the problem right there. They
Yeah.
don't see it in that way.
Mm.
They see it as, like, they honestly believe, they're being led to believe that this is the way to do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? That this is them doing the right thing.
Mm.
And I think that's where a lot of these people are going to be held accountable, like the leaders. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is where we have the problems in a bunch of churches. And it's in different ways. It doesn't have to be prosperity. It can be a different thing.
Right.
It can be fear attack, like fire and brimstone. There's so many different things that can creep in to a church and rule. But it's all based off of fear.
Right.
You got to do these things in order to get this. You want God to love you? You got to do this.
Right.
You want to please
God to
God?
bless you?
You want God to bless you?
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, blessed are all those who trust in him.
Right.
And you won't trust in him unless you realize that he loved you first.
Right.
And once you realize that he loved you first, then you might trust in him. And it takes time to trust.
It does, because trusting in him means letting go of your own way of doing it.
Your own way, yeah.
Your own, like, control.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so when we first come in, like Kanye West, like,
yeah,
it's learning how to let go of that control. That's one of the hardest parts.
Mhm.
It's fun. I was saying it, and I'm thinking of our song.
oh yeah. The hardest part is letting go of what you can't control.
It's better left
Yeah.
behind. Yeah.
We need to start breaking down our lyrics for these people, man.
That could be a segment.
Could be a segment. I was telling Jake I want to do some segments.
Yeah.
Some small segments.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Kathleen says, yes.
What's that called when they like the radio hosts have the mixer and they have all the buttons ready to go?
What do they call those?
I want that.
You want those? You want the?
We need some buttons.
Yeah.
Need an applause button,
they call
a
those.
boo
They
button.
call those drops, right?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but okay, cool. Y'all, anybody else want to talk about anything? I think we could wrap this up. We've
No.
been going for a while. This
Yeah.
is part 2, and part 2 is like long as heck.
Part
2 is 2 hours.
Dang.
All right, cool. So thank you guys for watching. Kathleen and Tiffany, you guys are dope for chiming in so much. Xavier, we appreciate you. Yo, Junior, we love you, my brother. Like,
Yeah,
don't
we
be
love you,
mad.
June.
Yeah, we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
He already
call us,
knows
man.
that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. He knows. I hope we get to see him when we go to Florida. But thank you guys for watching. We
Yeah,
appreciate
that's right.
you guys. Again, always remember, patreon.com/YoungLionTV. Go to Jatan.com, get some merch, find out about shows in your area. You can come see us live, and you can hear the lyrics that we got. You can hear them in person. Because we're trying to do, we're on the same. We've been on this wave. Like, that's why it's been one of the exciting things about hearing Kanye on this wave right now is because God kind of pushed us in that direction. Pretty much like 2010 and on, we've been kind of like on this path. It really took hold in 2013 when we dropped By the River. And one of the things about By the River that I realized is like those lyrics are really about wizardry, right? And being controlled by the manipulative forces that are pushing you here and pushing you there based off these ideas that are built up in your mind that are never really existed in the first place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you already know the truth.
Right. You know the truth.
But you don't want to go to the truth. Like, you
because
don't want to go to the source.
Easier way.
Yeah.
You think there's an easier way. You think there's a quick fix. If I go here, they're telling me that this is here. Let me go this direction, and then I can have all the things. You know what I mean? That's not there. Okay, I get there, and it was some bullshit. All right, let me go this way, and now I found everything. That it's not there. And so if you listen to By the River, you'll understand that. But so we've been on this path for a while, and God showed us a while ago that our music needs to like basically glorify Him and wake people up in a lot of ways to the things that we can be blind to. So go check out the music. You can stream it anywhere, and you can get the merch on Jatan.com. We love you guys. We'll be back next Tuesday, God willing. And like always, I'm going to say this. Don't be sheep when you can be lions. All right, we out of here.
Young